It's no secret that I'm a big fan of the Pentax 67ii. It's a camera that I reviewed previously and have only grown to love even more over the past couple of months. After posting up that review, I picked up one accessory for this camera that's made me enjoy it even more. That accessory is the Waist Level Finder, and it's something that isn't really talked about too often. So I wanted to post up a quick video review outlining my thoughts after using it for the past couple of months. In my review about this camera, I praised the portability of it, and no doubt the metered prism finder is a huge part of that. It's one of the pieces that allows you to use this camera handheld and on the fly. Now, while the prism finder is great and I'll definitely never get rid of it, after using this camera for a while, I really did start to miss looking down and composing through the focusing screen itself. When I got back into film, one of the first cameras I picked up was the Yashica Mat 124G, and I really did enjoy working with that camera at waist level. The metered prism finder for the Pentax 67 is awesome, and it definitely brings with it a number of benefits, like 3 different metering modes and the ability to shoot at eye level, but it also has some trade-offs. The first, and it's a pretty big one, is that when you're using the prism finder, you're only actually viewing about 90% of the frame, and this is the same across all 6x7 models. Also, while looking through the prism finder, it's just something that's never really impressed me that much. I mean, it definitely works, but it's not something that has really ever got me that excited to use. The second downside is that it does add some extra weight to the camera package. Now, for me, this is something that's never really bothered me that much, but the first time you pull the AE finder off the camera, it is pretty surprising how much it weighs. The Pentax Waist Level Finder was introduced with the very first 6x7 model, and it was carried through all variants. They're all the same except for branding, and they're all compatible with every camera version. The model I picked up is one of the first versions with the old branding, which I actually like better. Installing the Waist Level Finder on the 672 model is super straightforward. I'll see if I can go ahead and do it while we talk here. So what you want to do is you just turn and push in these 2 buttons on either side of the finder, and then it just lifts off like that. And then you take the waist level finder and you just drop it into place and give it a push. You'll hear a click, and that's pretty much it. Now in the back, you'll see there's 2 tabs. You just pull up and the finder pops open. And initially there's the magnifier, which is down. You can just flip that out of the way for composing. Flip it back into place just to check critical focus. I just want to note as well, I have read that on any model other than the 672, you actually have to remove the lens first before you change any of the finders, or you do risk damaging the TTL meter chain. So if you own one of the older versions of this camera and you're going to swap out the finder, definitely something you should look into first. So let's start with the negatives of the waist level finder first. The most obvious one is that you give up the built-in metering. Not really a huge deal if you own and are comfortable using an external meter, but it's definitely something to think about as it does change the dynamic of the camera a little bit. The second is that you can't really shoot with the camera vertically anymore, or at least without it being really awkward. And if you're hand holding or using the camera on a tripod, you can't really set it up any higher than your chest. But on the plus side, the positives of the waist level finder definitely outweigh the negatives. Looking through this finder really is something special, and in my opinion, it almost brings things to life with a 3D-like rendering. I found that I can almost get lost in the frame, and it's definitely made composing with this camera really something special. The second positive is that you're looking at 100% of the frame while using the waist level finder, which allows you to be really critical with your compositions and use up all of the space possible. This is a big one for me. Overall, for me, I now consider this accessory a must for a Pentax 67 kit. It may not be for everyone, and it's definitely not cheap, but having it in combination with an AE finder really allows me to customize this camera to suit any type of situation I find myself in. The Pentax 67 system has always appealed to me for its versatility, and the waist level finder really does add something special to a camera that I already love.